With this interview, and with you saying, I can't predict or I don't know where it's going to come from, isn't that the way pushbacks movements have always worked? No one really knows what the next thing is going to be, and all of a sudden it appears. And then people can look at it retrospectively and go, oh, we can see now that blah, 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 and da-da-da-da-da. But at the moment, no one really could see the way the culture was going to move.
And by the way, there's potentially a good example of this. If you look at the comedians who are really going big in America, they're all pushing back against this stuff. You know, Shane Gillis doesn't get on SNL because he said something offensive. And now he's gone full circle and he's back on SNL because they basically need someone of his caliber in order to do it, right? You know, Rogan, lots of other people, Theo Von, etc. These are not people who are like woke, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they are the cool ones. So culturally, I guess you know, the question is there a possibility that there is this pushback now coming?
I think you're right, and I don't know if it's male culture or if it transcends the gender.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right to some degree. But I guess I'm sort of looking in the broader sweep in terms of what's taught in universities, what's in the theaters, what's in the movies. You know, I'd say really, if you were to take the history of Western art and culture from about 1900, I would say it's largely, not entirely, but it's largely been a history of liberal or left movements. Starting with, I mean, World War I is a bit of a turning point. You know, you still had some, you know, fascist intellectuals, and actually in Europe, obviously, you did have, you know, conservative intellectuals right up until World War II. They had some obviously pretty bad ideas, but
Put very mildly.
very mildly, yeah. But on the other hand, certainly since World War II, but arguably even World War I, you know, you read Orwell, he's writing in 1941, he's saying since 1930, the intelligentsia has been on the left, and this is a kind of leftist himself. So for a very long time, we've had the intellectuals being on the left. I mean, really, you'd have to go back to the Romantic movement, Romantic nationalism as a kind of major conservative movement in the culture. So we haven't really had that. You know, yes, we've had the Islamic revival. You know, we've had cultural movements outside the West that are clearly conservative, but not really within the West. And certainly if you're talking about the high culture, it's been almost 100 years or over 100 years where it's been moving in one direction only. And that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking, you know, I'm skeptical of this sort of conservative direction. I mean, there may be a sort of offshoot and there may be people that are pushing back